Hello everyone. This time our lesson is 9.1. The title is Sequences and Series. So here's the definition. Our objective for today, by the way, is we're gonna write terms of a sequence for this video. And then I'm gonna go over other videos for the example on this lesson. So the definition infinite sequence is a function, okay? So make sure you understand that it's a function whose domain is the set of positive integers. So only positive integers. So 1, start with 1. So it should be natural numbers. Start with 1, 2, 3, and to positive infinity. The function values will be denoted by a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3, a sub 4, and then up to a sub n. And it can still continue. You call these terms of the sequence. So when the domain of the function consists of the first n positive integers only, then the sequence is called finite sequence. Okay, it's finite, meaning it ends. All right. Okay, let's go over two examples right now. I'm gonna go over right now example number 1. The first example, it says writing the terms of a sequence. So here's the given. Write the first 4 terms of the sequence by a sub n equals 3n minus 2. Okay, so our n is 4 then. So n is 4 because we're gonna write the first 4 terms. So therefore, are we gonna have a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3, then a sub 4. So these are um my terms, 4 of them, because we are asked to find 4 terms, and this is the function rule that we will use. Okay, so our n is 1, so whatever is this, so plug in 3 times 1 minus 2, and that should give you a 1. This is your first term. And then continue. This is now second term, so n is 2, so 3 times 2 minus 2, and it should give you 4. Well, because 3 times 2 is 6, minus 2 is 4. So this is your second term. And then 3 times 3, for our n is 3. Then minus 2. We're following this function rule. And that should be a 7. And this will be our third term. And then one more because we want fourth term. 3 times 4 minus 2, and that should be a 10. And this will be our fourth term. Okay, so the answers are 1, 4, 7, and 10. Okay, now try letter B on your own. Pause the video and come back for the answer. Okay? Alright, pause the video and then come back for the answer. So our n here is 4 because we are asked to find the first 4 terms. So therefore, I will have a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3, then a sub 4. And what is my function rule? This is my function rule. 3 plus negative 1 raised to n, whatever that n is. Be sure that you put negative 1 inside the parenthesis. Okay, so I'll start with my first term. 3 plus negative 1 raised to 1. And you know that is equal to 3 plus negative 1 raised to 1 is negative 1. So that would be 3 minus 1, and that is equals 2. This is your first term. Careful with this. So then, if n is 2, so 3 plus negative 1 raised to 2. Well, 3 copy plus negative 1 squared is negative 1 times negative 1, and that will be a 1. So therefore, we have a 4. And this will be our second term. The next, our n is 3. So 3 plus negative 1 raised to 3. So 3 copy plus, okay, negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. So that would be negative 1. So 3 plus negative 1 is a 2. So this will be your third term. And then, if n is 4, so 3 plus negative 1 raised to 4. So 3 plus negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. And that would be positive 1. So it's a 4. So that would be a fourth term. Okay? And I want you to look, guys. Okay, here, there's a pattern here. So our answers are 2, 4, 2, 4. If you notice, if n is 1 and 3, it gives you a 1. If n is 2 and 4, it gives you a positive 1. So I want you to make sure that you get that pattern. If the n negative 1 raised to n, and then if n is odd, the answer is negative 1. Negative 1 raised to n. If n is even, the answer is positive 1. No matter what number is this, as long as it's odd, the answer is always negative 1. The same thing with the even. No matter what number is this, as long as it's even, the answer is always 1. Okay, so far that is for example number 1.